Okay, so dogs are doing these things, being goofy, running around, grabbing stuff, playing. Hi, dorks! I think they kind of know what the phone is about, so when I do this, sometimes they just stop. But anyway, they're playing, being really silly, and oh, we're back at it, almost. And I wanted to talk about what it looks like to walk inside the house. I'm pretty cautious about when I'm inside the house with certain types of boarders, the Jupiter types, and that's because a lot of the time they are just the outside world is more puppy proof for them, and the inside world can only be so puppy proof, right? I can't eliminate my kitchen counter entirely, although it'd be great if I could. And actually I do have a pen that I sometimes will block all of my counter space, but he's actually powerful enough that he just like pushes it and it just like moves. It's totally pointless for him. So I have multiple rooms in my house that are kind of like different modes, and this is really helpful for clarity, especially with young adolescent dogs. So first the kitchen. So the kitchen is completely sectioned off from, in this case, the living room, in this case, the pantry area. So I got a lot of dog stuff and dog gear back there. Hi, kids. And in the kitchen, of course, the counters exist. So by default, I am always doing something. Wow, great demo, thank you. That is called capturing relaxed behavior in the kitchen. So every single time that I'm in the kitchen, all the dogs should know, they do know, clearly Jupiter knows, that downs are rewardable and always will be. So not everybody loves this method because some people don't like to have dogs on their kitchen floor, but I actually really prefer it. I like for my dogs to know exactly how reinforcement can be accessed in a room like this, where in theory, the answer to counter-surfing could just be never have any reinforcement available in the kitchen, but that's totally impossible if you're me. And I don't know, really, unless you kind of live in a sterile environment, which I cannot and do not. So for me, kitchens are a downs place to be. And they need to be sectioned off because otherwise we'd be more likely to have like play, zoomies, that kind of stuff. And so this is the main thing that is like foundational skill of settling outside the crate, is like when you're indoors, every single time you do any kind of relaxed behavior, I'm going to reward it. Like, it will be rewarded. And if I notice something like going super flat like that, or like a chin rest or something that's like even more relaxed, I'm always going to reward those too. So when he was first learning this mechanism of my kitchen, I would basically just have him come in here. I have jars always ready to go in pretty much every room, and I would just sit here and babysit my jar and wait. And this is what I expected the video to look like, actually, was I was going to do a time lapse of how long it takes them to lay down, but it took him no time at all. So that's pretty cute. So basically I just always have jars available in my kitchen, and if anybody does a nice relaxed behavior in the kitchen, they earn something, a piece of kibble from the jar. This is doubly true for boarders. Honestly, with my resident dogs, once I developed good, healthy kitchen habits, I don't really need this skill as much anymore, and they don't need to be always laying down all the time in my kitchen. But for boarders, it's really key, actually, for them to have a sense of clarity about expectation in every single location. What's the expectation for being outside? What's the expectation for being on leash? What's the expectation for being in this room? How about this room? How about this room? So the kitchen, I'm cool with being sort of an intermediary space, but I do like calm, relaxed behavior, and I will always reward it. The living room is a little bit more of a stricter environment. So okay, so while everybody's being chill in here, I'll tell you about the living room. So the living room is a thoroughfare in my house, so you could be going through it from the front door to the back. His crate is located in the living room, so he's doing a lot of going in and out of the living room just to get in and out of his crate. But we don't do a ton of hanging out in there because I like that to be sort of a calm space that's like, we're just watching TV, we're just chilling out. And if I have a brand new adolescent boarder at my house, they're probably not going to be able to perform that well in the living room until they've already been here a few days and have gotten kind of their sillies out and have figured out a little bit more about how these humans operate and how to get what they want from us, which is be chill. So before I bring him in the living room, so last night was the time that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna work on the living room thing with Jupiter. I think it's about time. He's been here for a few days, and I think he's ready to do something a little more challenging. I did it at the end of the night when I knew he was already pretty chill, and I did it without Lokta present. So Lokta was our other boarder who was only here for a day, but man, the two of them are way too similar. It just, I could totally do it with just Lokta, and I could totally do it with just Jupiter, but I just didn't think that they were ready for Jupiter's first, like, long-term living room experience to be with Lokta. I didn't think it would help me. So yeah, last night was a good opportunity. Jupiter just laid down in the kitchen, so let's give him one of those. And what I did was I thought about it before I went through it. I thought, okay, I'm going to bring them in and I'm going to just make sure that I have treats on me right away so that I can immediately direct them to a station. Now, stationing is something that we've worked on outside and now something we're working on bringing inside. So stationing is where you have a spot for a dog to go. I'll show you. So here's some examples of various stations. This cot right here is one, clearly knows about it. A station is, yeah, good boy. A station is a place that a dog knows that they can go and hang out and basically stay there, and that they will get rewarded for it. As you can see, my dogs have a lot of practice with this, and Jupiter only has a few days of practice with this, but he's actually pretty good about it. You wanna get on this one, bud? You can do it. The cot is the one he's least likely to go to, but, up. Good boy. Good job. And I really like for certain stations to have certain positions attached to them. So usually for me, the cot is a lay down one, and the Kato boards, which are these things that my dogs are on here, are sit stations. You don't have to get that technical about it, but that is for a nerd like me who can spend a full time of the week on this. That is what I'm into. So anyway, so Jupiter already is familiar with this mechanism of, like, there's a station here for a human, right? Chair. And there are stations here for dogs. And this is what the behavior is. This is what the expectation is on these stations. Sorry, I'm not feeling very articulate this morning. And so when we have really clear expectations, it's always a lot easier to perform than if we're confused or frustrated at all. So once we had this down, we practiced for several days and he kicked butt at it, which is great. This is really, really helpful for play management. This is a lot easier than just telling them to downstay, and it's gonna get calmer behavior. What is this wacky? This is your tarantula pose. Okay, so he's fallen off. So now that he's familiar with this mechanic out here, normally he does fit fine on there. He's just being really silly. Then we were ready to take it indoors. So in the living room, I'm cool with dogs stationing on my couches, and I also have this really big squishy dog bed, which is where he actually fell asleep last night, which is really cool to see. So normally, I'll leave them over here for a sec. Normally, if I were just putting Jupiter in and out of his crate, I would guide him directly here and then directly back for body break or something like that, directly back. So he's already super, super good at doing this rhythm. Run from here to there and run from there to here without going, shoo, what else should I check out over here? And so when I'm inviting him into this space, I'm ready to station him right away. I'm going to station him on this big squishy bed because that has been working really well for him and actually kind of gives him a nice place to relax. I have lower light in here. I often have white noise. Last night I had the TV on. TV is often a cue to dogs that humans are relaxing. So, okay, so we're gonna go in the living room. Good job. I'm just gonna immediately engage you guys. And, all right, I got one up here. Sorry, camera work is a little difficult. Eans up, down. Good boy. Jupiter. Good boy. Down. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So we got something a little better looking. And now, last night when I was doing this is the point where we put some TV on. And oh my gosh, the dust in the air, that's crazy. And then I'm going to start doing things like rewarding calm behavior. So right now we have a lot of mouth breathing. Both of my dogs are breathing through their mouth. That's not very calm breathing. And also these positions aren't either. These positions were like ready to pop up. So basically I wouldn't choose to do this at this time of the morning anyway, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to start just by rewarding any nose breath that I see. Boone's just here for the ride. He's really useful, actually. You know, having a good role model around is great for this kind of thing. Chin rest, I'm going to reward that. Nice, I'm getting my chin rest. We're getting nose breathing. Oh, I guess that one goes to Boone. Great. Once this started to look really good, you know, again, there's a lot of treats here, right? There's a lot of training wheels happening, and it took us a little while last night too. And basically, it was great because we got to feed them their dinner. So it was a great, easy way to do dinner in a way that was also great mental exercise and enrichment. We got chin rest, nose breather over here, and then we got ready to pop up mouth breather over there. So I'm gonna wait for him to. Oh, there we go. Good boy. Good boy. Yep, so just a lot of observing body language, rewarding him for being his chillest. And then right here, I'm going to cut to a time lapse of what I had them all up on their stations in the living room, and here Jupiter's up on the couch. I started with really short steps away, and then eventually working up to being able to walk away, return, and reward. And so I'm rewarding every time I'm returning right now. This is sort of the middle stages of teaching be chill in the living room, right? First, I need a really solid behavior while I'm right next to you and we're all relaxing at the same time. Then I need you to be able to hold that and be real patient and incorporating some patience and duration and distraction and distance into the whole thing until you have this being the default muscle memory of being in the living room. Okay, so we moved around for a while, kind of came back. They started to play, and I was like, hey kids, let's not play. Right? Just a gentle interruption, and then ask them to go back to what we were doing before. I'm totally cool with them swapping places. It doesn't matter to me. So long as we are chill. Which these body language is telling me that we are not in a place that we could continue to do this for much longer. So, great information. Thank you for that. I love information. So I am going to get up and I'm going to close up the access to the living room so that Jupiter cannot practice being in here unsupervised because I don't trust him with that yet. Even though he did really, really well last night for multiple hours, which was great. I still don't necessarily trust that during this time of day he'd be able to do that. So we're always starting wherever they can be successful and then just kind of gradually building on that. So basically, sorry if I've already said this, but the big thing here is compartmentalizing. So teaching the dog that like different spaces have different modes attached to them. Dogs are really good at figuring out context clues and environmental cues. They tend to pick up on environmental cues way faster than they pick up on our trained verbal cues and nonverbal cues and things like that. So use that to your advantage, right? Decide what's going to be your really chill place that like this is the room that every single time that we're in this room with you, like this is a chill zone. This is where we watch TV, this is where we read books, this is where we don't do anything fun or exciting and take a break. So if he already has an association with that room being a place that he could play, he can mosh, he can be goofy, those are great things to do in other places. Oh my god, I thought he had a banana. It was a toy. Okay, it's totally sanctioned toy. I was like, holy crap, a banana. Bananas are safe. Anyway, take a break. So if that's the case, then you'll need to kind of reset that association. So I would even do something like take a few days off of being in that room entirely so that every time he's in it, he's just coming through, passing through. So don't think about it quite so much as learn to chill outside the crate. Think about it more like, what's your next crate, right? You're really good at chilling in your crate. What's going to be the next place that we really invest our time in? We want you to be chill here. And then we're going to practice a ton of. We go in, we chill, we stop, we leave. We go in, we chill, we stop, we leave. And rinse and repeat until you have muscle memory. He's going to get there really fast. He's a really smart dog with a lot of really good pattern recognition. So I think you'll have a lot of success. Just wanted to add one more comment here, which is that I realized that the method I've outlined is sort of labor intensive, right? You don't ever have your dog unsupervised in a place that you want them to associate with being really chill. And you work with them when they're in that space in order to help them get to and stay in the mode that you want them to be in that space so that that's the muscle memory that they're building. But I realized I didn't really talk much about timeline on this. So I would say that for most boarders, This is about a week-long learning process, and after that it tends to just be muscle memory. So I want you to see that right now in the kitchen, it is definitely his muscle memory to just lay here and wait until I reward him or go back outside. You know, as you saw, was in the living room. He actually right now has access to the full rest of the house, so he's totally great with that sort of thing, and it probably only took him until he was about 5 months or so, but that's considered really early, I would say, especially for like a, you know, high energy, high drive, sporty dog. But this is what I do for a living, so don't compare like that. So anyway, I think with Jupiter, this process would not take terribly long, maybe 3 weeks or so, and then you could probably start experimenting with leaving him in there.